Dan Bidondi for TruthRadioShow.com. Today is April 13th of 2014, and I just want to make a special announcement. The reason why we haven't been on the air for the last 2 weeks is due to the control of the radio station, nothing to do with us, so it's out of our hands, out of our control. My radio station, 990WBOB.com, decided to take a month's hiatus with very short notice. First of all, they told us 2 days before my show, well, we're moving the station, there's no show this week. So I had to call my guest at the time, Colonel Riley, and push him back to this week. So this week comes, and we got told a day or two before that we're taking a hiatus, basically, they were saying, until sometime in May. So I had to call all my guests because I had guests booked up for the next few months. And the thing is, I had to call them all yesterday and today to say, hey, guys, we have to cancel altogether because I don't know what's going on. In the meantime, we don't have time to play these games, okay? We need to get the information out. We don't have time to play radio station games like they're doing this or they're doing that. Now, I'm not talking bad about WBOB. I thank them for being a great platform for me. But we're looking to other venues right now, other platforms to broadcast on. But our ultimate goal, folks, is to be independent media. So this way, if one of the stations we're on, one of the networks are on, one of the platforms are on, decides to go on a hiatus or whatever they want to do, we still have live broadcasts from TruthRadioShow.com. So that's why we set up the donation page. And I'm not going to sit here rambling on about donations. If you got it, give it. You know what I mean? If you need to pay other things, family comes first. Your bills come first. So, take care of that. But if you feel the need to, we already had a few generous donators that gave some good money and to help fund the operation. And it goes toward gas for the vehicles to get out there to do the reports, video equipment, which is very expensive, the streaming service, airtime on the stations, paper, ink, just everything in general. To run an operation like this, it costs a lot of money, and that's why mainstream media, they get funded by the corporate sponsors, they get bailouts by the government, and we don't get that stuff, folks. Everything you see here is all bought and paid for by you, the listener. So, and it all goes into a good movement to bring you the truth, bring you the news that you really want to hear. Hard, unsugar-coated truth, and that's exactly what we do. When teleprompter free, that's why you hear me stumbling and stuttering here and there, because I'm not reading from a teleprompter. I'm not a well-polished person. I'm not a pretty face in front of the camera. Yeah, I don't have a perfect dialect, or, I don't have none of that. But the thing is, the only thing we have here is truth, and you people want to hear the hardcore, unsugar-coated truth, and that's what we do here. And if you want a pretty face, a well-spoken person that can read perfectly from a teleprompter and read lies, tune into CNN, Fox, or anywhere else. But you're not going to get that here. But again, if you want a real media, folks, again, your donations, instead of donating to mainstream morons like NPR News and all that, donate to truth, liberty shows like this, and the funds go to good causes. We to buy the equipment and everything else. But enough with the donations. It's on the website. If you feel free, TruthRadioShow.com. Click on the PayPal secure account donation page. It goes right to the operation. We have the declaration right on the page. A page dedicated to the show and tell you where the funds go to and why. So that's our mission statement as well. But anyway, we're going to be broadcasting hopefully soon, because right now we're talking to a couple of platforms on broadcasting on all of them, because we want to broadcast on every platform we could possibly get. And we might be back on WBOB, we're not sure. But the thing is, I just don't have time to, with the days or two's notice to say, hey, we're taking a month's break. I don't have time for that. I got to get the news out, and it's very unprofessional for me to call all my guests that took me a lot of work to get, top-name guests, to say, hey, guys, we got to push things back a week, then call them again a week later to say, hey, we have to cancel altogether up into May, and we can get the schedule. I don't have time for that. We want to get on the platform ASAP, and until then, we're going to start doing YouTube shows only right now. And this week is going to be no show, obviously. But starting next week, we're going to start doing shows until we get onto a platform. And on a platform, as always, they're going to be broadcasted via YouTube as well for the video edition. And the video edition is cool because it has the article and the documents when we're talking about goes right up on the screen. And this way, skeptics out there can say, oh, he's lying. Well, there's the USA Today article. There's the Washington Post. There's the document from the CDC, to show proof it's not what we're saying. It's from the horse's mouth. And we're just reporting the truth. And so that being said, people, it's a fight right now. It's a war out there for your mind. And what we're trying to do is open up your mind. We're trying to wake you up. And to do that, we need help by the public. We need help because, again, we don't get bailouts or nothing. We don't get grants. We don't get none of that stuff. We're not 501c3 either. And because a lot of people know about 501c3, it's just, most of the churches are that, and it's government control. Tax write-offs and everything else, government control. We don't have time to get to that right now, but we are pure, strictly grassroots. And again, if you feel free to donate, truthradioshow.com, click on the donation page, and we hope to be back on the air as soon as possible. And again, with your donations and everything else, and there's a few people who already donated, and I want to thank you from my heart. And it's already gone. Your donations have already gone into the operation here. It gave us gas to get out to the locations to do some news. It gave us money to buy some ink and paper and pay for the airtime where we were on the air at the time. But again, we'll try to push on to bigger platforms. And we're talking with Guerrilla News Media right now, Blog Talk Radio, Freedomizer Radio. We hope to broadcast on everything and do one show and have all these networks simulcast the show. And that was going to be the deal from one. We're going to be off BOB, and a couple of networks we're going to simulcast off that. But all that fell through because they decided to take a month's hiatus. We built up a big audience, and now people are questioning, where's the Truth Radio Show now? So this is the answer here, and this is exactly what's going on. So thank you all you loyal listeners, and new listeners as well that just started tuning in. I met a lot of you guys down in Hartford, Connecticut at the gun rally. Where about 10,000 people that showed up to support the Second Amendment. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support and everything. Took tons of pictures with fans and met a lot of people, and it was great. And right now, if you want any news on the Bundy Ranch news stuff, go to Infowars.com right now. They're doing exclusive reports on that. But reason why I mention this because I'm encouraging all patriots, all militia groups, whatever you are, get out to Nevada. Because this ain't over yet. I'm telling you right now, what they're doing, the feds are doing, they backed off because they're waiting for the patriots to go away, all the supporters to go away. And when they go away, I'm sure they're going to swoop back right back in again in the middle of the night and try to take over that ranch, try to frame Bundy on something. So yes, we had a major victory today. Hundreds of patriots stood in the face of the tyrant feds and said, no, you're not touching this land. We're taking those cattle back. And they did. They won. The feds backed off. They're out of there. But they will be back, I'm telling you right now. Because they unrestricted the land again, and we had a major victory today. But it's just a small battle in this whole war because they're going to do something else again. And I encourage patriots, militia groups, or whoever you are, get out to Nevada now and protect that land. Protect the Constitution because this ain't over, folks. Anybody that knows, the federal government knows, they don't back off too long. They'll be back, and they're going to look for any reason possible to come back with force. So I'm not calling for violence, but you know what? There's a thing called mola and labe, you know what I mean? Don't fire unless fire upon, you know what I mean? And I'm not calling for violence, but you know what? There's a thing history teaches us, and especially federal government should know this. You never back a patriot into a corner. Because if you back a patriot into a corner, we're going to come out like a raven wolf. You know what I mean? You don't mess with the American people. You don't mess with the Second Amendment. You don't mess with the First Amendment. You don't mess with the Constitution at all. And you damn well don't mess with our freedoms. And history will show you, this is to the federal government, history will show you every time that a government or some regime tried to attack people's civil liberties, especially here in America, they have failed and failed miserably. And don't try what the British failed at, because you will lose, and you will lose bad. And I'm not trying to instigate no wars. I'm not trying to instigate and incite no violence. But you shoot first, you're going to lose. I'm telling you right now, because we have the power. We have more guns. We have more people. We have thing called the spirit of 1776 that will not be stopped. So, you know, don't start a war that you will not win. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Leave us alone, back off, and stay the hell out of our Constitution. So, and it, you know, it just makes me upset to know that the stuff's going on. I try my best to get out to Nevada, but, you know, that's not happening. But we will be at the Boston Marathon this year with Infowars.com. I'll be there as one of the reporters with Jakari Jackson and a few other guys from Infowars. And we're going to bring you live coverage and up-to-date coverage of the Boston Marathon because it's going to be a total police state there. They're already talking about having psychologists along the route there to talk to people and say, oh, you know, anybody has any bad feelings and everything else about what happened last year, they're going to have psychologists there to talk to people. So we're going to be there uncovering all this action here, especially with the police state. It's got to be insane. And they're already beefing it up in Boston now. They're going to have helicopters there, TSA, Homeland Security, military, and it's going to look like a war zone. It's going to look like you're traveling to another country. When you get there, you have the military people already trying to intimidate people. They already called for the order that nobody's to bring bags and everything else. So already they're setting up the total and police state, and we at Infowars are going to be there to cover that. And but anyway, we got to get going because we're out of time. And again, folks, we will be back on the air shortly and very soon. And I apologize to all my listeners out there who not only donated, but just tuning in. You don't even have to donate. Just tune in and get the word out about the show. That alone helps out a great deal because we want to bring the truth out to the people. And unlike most shows and patriot groups out there and everything else, we could care a rat's ass, excuse my language, about political correctness because we tell it like it is, how it is, and the way it is. And if it offends you, you know what? Too bad. Get the hell out. You know, I mean, that's the way we are. We tell you the cold, hard facts and truth. We don't water nothing down. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We don't tickle people's ears. We tell you the way it is and how it is, and that's it. And if it offends you, oh, well, too bad. You know, if you don't like the truth hurts. Deal with it. And, you know, we don't mean to sound offensive like that, but you know what? We have to, because unless we wake up the general public right now, and if we continue to be politically correct, okay, the government's got to walk all over us because they ain't politically correct when they're staging false flag terror attacks, when they're killing innocent people. They're not being politically correct. When they're poisoning our food and our water and the air we breathe, they're not being politically correct about that. And I'm not saying to be violent, but we need to be extreme. We need to stand up and yell, not talk. We need to stand up and scream in their faces and say, you are not taking our liberties. You are not going to violate our way of life. And it's exactly what a Truth Radio show here is going to do. We got reporters from all over the country, correspondents. We got a couple overseas and everything else, and we're going to set up a global network that will not be stopped by the New World Order. We're going to crash right through the gate of the New World Order, and we're going to go right to the heart of them. Because people who work here, we're fearless. Not that we're heroes or nothing, but we don't care about tyrants, okay? Because we don't care what happens to us. We'll stand in the face of tyrants and tell them where to go because we have the spirit of 1776 and we have the essence of God in us. So, you know, we stand in the face of evil and expose it. That's exactly what God tells us to do and exactly what we do here at TruthRadioShow.com. So again, keep up to date, my social media networks, Twitter, Facebook, and so on. And it's all linked on TruthRadioShow.com. It's got all my links and pages and everything else, the donation page as well. And we'll also be keeping you up to date on what's going on with the show and where it's going to be. And once we get settled, and especially if we get the proper funding, which we're pushing for now, is to create our own independent network. This way we don't have to rely on platforms. I mean, we'll still go to the platforms and all that, but, you know, in case they go down, whatever, we have our own media so we can broadcast the shows regardless if the station wants to take a break or not. Whatever. But I mean, your funds going to helping this happen. You know, new video equipment, we want monitors, everything. You know, everything from the new computers and all that stuff because we need the stuff, the video editing equipment and everything else. And but there's a lot of money involved. And if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't even ask for a dime. I'd be just doing this for free, and I would expand this beyond the reaches of mainstream media. And that's what we're trying to do here, a grassroots foundation. But this is Dan Bidondi for Truth Radio Show, and we'll be back. So visit TruthRadioShow.com. God bless.